Alright, so we got our new U-joint in. I got one of the Napa greasables. Now I'm going to line it up because you got to make sure that this U-joint and this U-joint are in line with the original, which is why I put the grease fitting straight up and down when I took the slip yoke apart. So when I put it back together, if it was balanced, which it has been, it's still balanced in the same place. So sometimes these are slip yokes are indexed, sometimes they're not, but just to be safe, I mark it here. I put this straight up and down so it's in line with the U-joints, so I know where to be. Okay, let me get in. Looks like he needs some more parts, so we just grabbed the battery out of my truck, and we don't have a carburetor anymore, so we just robbed that off my truck. We're going to get him the washer reservoir off my truck, and I guess we'll get him an overflow. I don't know what we'll do about the heater core. The heater don't work, the wipers don't work, turn signals don't work, gauges don't work. This is attractive. So how long do you think that was bad that he kept adding water to get to this point? Neglect. Oh yeah, we gotta take the alternator off mine because his alternator don't work. Boy, sounds like he just needs my truck. But, yeah, whatever. Some assembly required. Duct tape. Hey, check that out. Aftermarket cruise control from years and years ago. This part of the cab looks pretty good. This part of the cab's actually in better shape than the one I bought. But, yeah, well, I see it's going to leave me some presents. Alright. I guess I better grease that U-joint. I forgot about that. With a better look at them spider gears, if you can see that. It's pretty rough. There's a chunk out of the ring gear somewhere. Man, it's pretty bad. Alright, we are done with this truck. Taking it back to his place so he can put his service body back on and do some other stuff he wants to do. We disagree on almost every aspect of this truck. I didn't think it was necessary to replace shocks as much as it was to replace brakes. It's got hydraulic leaks all through the brake system. He thought it was a better idea to replace the shocks. You know, what are you gonna do? I gave him my opinion and it didn't matter. So all I can say is there's a reason that he's in this predicament. I would have replaced the things that were important. The shocks were worn, but the sway bar bushings were worn, but you know, he spent over $100 that he said he didn't have on those two items that could have went a long way in hydraulics. Wheel cylinders for the back of that were probably 10, 12 bucks a piece. Hydraulic line, you know, $30. A few hoses here and there. You know, he could have made a lot safer with that money instead of buying shocks and bushings. But hey man, when you can lead him to water, you can't make him drink. You know, I voiced my opinion, gave him what I thought was best. I guess it fell on deaf ears because it doesn't matter. So anyways, we're going to drop it, we're going to take it back, we're dropping it off, and he's going to finish it up. And we are going to get back on something that we want to do. I'm going to get back to that 07 F750 that I just bought, and we're going to get the lift gate and the box off that thing. I'm not sure if I'll video that. That's quite, I don't know. It's not going to be easy to videotape while we're doing it. We'll see. I want to get going on that truck. I got to make a decision if I'm building a new bed or if I'm putting this bed on, or better yet, maybe I just take that rollback bed that I have sitting there and put on it. I don't know. We'll see, but we're going to go unload this. I'll bring you back. Okay guys, so we got the truck unloaded. Unfortunately, my buddy really didn't want to be in the video. He just wasn't interested in having himself on YouTube, so I can respect that. I don't have a problem with it. But we tried to video and keep him out, but he's an active guy. He doesn't stand still for very long, and if we cut out every point where he's in, I mean, you get a blip here and a blip there, and it really wouldn't make any sense. So we had to just kind of kibosh the whole video of unloading, and that's kind of upsetting because I'd really like to show you guys how well that Freightliner bed works for us for what we do when we use it. But anyway, so we got his service beds back on, and he should be going back to work tomorrow and back to making money. And he did tell me before he leave that he wished he would have put the money in the brakes instead of in the shocks and the sway bar bushings, which I'm glad he realized. I'm not glad that he conceded to what I said, but just because I'm happy that he came to the realization that the safety was so much more important than the shocks. So he did say that his dad was going to send him some money, and he's going to redo the brakes on Saturday. So hopefully that works out for him. We did what we could do. We ended up pilfering quite a bit of parts off that red and white truck. I just posted a video for it I just bought. Man, I need a haircut. Can't cut too much anymore. Anyways, so we pilfered off a good bit of parts off my truck to get him going, save him some money, and hopefully that helps out and gets him going. But anyway, so that's all handled. Now, tomorrow's Friday, and I don't mind starting a new project on Friday. I don't like starting them on Friday afternoon or Friday night, but I got to start the new project, and I'm just not certain which way I want to go. I'm kind of antsy about the red and white Ford F-250, the 78, 77. Jeez, I might have boogered that up. I think it's 77. I got the title to it. Anyways, I'd like to move forward on that, but that's going to be a slow-moving project because, and I didn't explain it well with that project and why I wanted to take that body off. What I want to do is take that complete body off that old 77 frame. For you guys out there who've been driven around in them old 77 frames, if you were comparing that to a 1950s or 1960s, it was great. If you compare that to today's chassis and suspension and brakes and how they work, well, it's kind of less than fantastic. My intention was to take that body and put it on a late model chassis. I've got a 2007 Super Duty frame sitting here. Came out of Texas. I bought the whole truck, but we ended up needing a bunch of parts for other trucks, so there's not much left. You can see in that video, there's not a lot of parts left on the frame. But what is there works well for what I want to do. Now, that being said, I want four-wheel disc brakes because I intend on towing with this truck. I want the longer leaf springs. The leaf springs on a Super Duty compared to the 77, I believe, are almost 6 inches longer. And if anybody knows anything about leaf spring suspensions and how they handle, the longer the leaf spring you've got, the smoother the ride and the better the load is held on the spring. Now, a shorter spring won't flex as much, which makes a stiffer ride. So that's why it's attractive to me. I want the front coil spring suspension, which this 77 is, but it's on old, outdated, not as good as newer model steering and suspension and brakes, that's for sure. So that's my intention, and I also wanted that frame because that frame will hold a diesel engine. It was designed to hold a diesel engine. I know there's going to be a lot of people who say that 351 is pretty heavy, and it is. But I don't think it's as heavy as a 5.9 Cummins fully dressed. And not only that, the Super Duty frame allows me to do some other things like make that truck four-wheel drive. That truck is two-wheel drive now. And my intentions are to run a 5.9 Cummins, and the transmission I run, I really haven't decided yet. But I can tell you this, more than likely it'll be a divorce transfer case with a jockey shaft between the tail shaft of the transmission and the input of the transfer case. There is a possibility I could run an Allison 1000 or something like that. Ideally, I guess what I should have explained was I would like to have a transmission with a lot of gears so that I can have the really, really low gears in the lower numeric gears like first, second, third, fourth, and then have nice ratio spread on all the gears for highway. And I would like to have at least one overdrive, because what I'd like to do is set that truck up with 373s or 343s as a rear end ratio. Being a 5.9 Cummins, you know, it doesn't need a 410 gear. If you put a 410 gear in a 5.9 Cummins with a direct drive transmission, I mean, you're just screaming RPMs that we don't need. If I put it at 373 with direct drive, I'm still kind of high. If I put it at 373 rear end with at least a 0.73 to 1 overdrive ratio in your final gear in the transmission, all right, now we're making some headway, and that'll drop us a couple hundred RPMs over a direct drive. Now, if I could end up with a Allison with 2 overdrives and I could get that done up, that'd be okay. But here's the problem: I don't want to build a complicated truck. I want simple. I would build a 12-valve Cummins engine with a manual 6+1 or whatever transmission combination that keeps it simple, but I don't have a 12-valve. I have a 24-valve. I have several 24 valves. I like a 24-valve simply because they're quieter. I know they're not nearly as easy to manipulate power out of, but that's okay. I don't need huge power. If it's 210 or above, I'm plenty happy. But anyways, the transmission situation, I don't know. Like, I have a bunch of 6+1 spicers laying around that I've taken out of trucks. Now, some 6+1s have overdrives, some don't. And the only way to find out is to run the serial number. So I think I have one here that has overdrive, and I'm not really excited about giving up that transmission for that project because I'd like it for something else. I do have a 10-speed, but it is not an overdrive, and I have a 13-speed. A 13-speed sounds really neat and cool and interesting, but the logistics of getting that massive transmission underneath the cab of that truck, I mean, it's a lot of cutting out of the tunnel and trying to make it bigger and raise it and all that stuff. And quite honestly, I'm just not interested. I would much rather go with a smaller transmission and run a different rear end gear than to, you know, butcher apart that cab. I'm just not interested in that. So anyhow, that's where we're going. I want to explain that a little better. I don't know which project I'm hitting next, but you can bet on I'll be getting you a video or two of it. And I'm trying to get a little more and more of the actual work that we're doing. It's not easy. I'm sure you guys can imagine. Just imagine think about what you're doing if you're trying to do something and you stop every couple minutes and you grab a camera and you get it set up and then you try to record it and it didn't show up and the light's bad or this or that, and you gotta stop and then do it again. Or even worse is when you go to put it all together because you think you've got everything to make it what you want it to be, and you realize that you've accidentally deleted part of the video. We call that old guy syndrome around here because that's what I do sometimes. You know, with electronics, I'm only in my 40s, but I gotta tell you, man, sometimes these electronics are just a pain in the tail to me. And I'm like that commercial you see on TV where the parents come outside and their kids are coming and they got their arms full of electronics. Yeah, that's us. We just, hey, fix this. I can't tell you how many times my daughter has to fix the auto rotate on my cell phone. I've got it figured out now, but so many times I'll accidentally bump something, and I have no idea the settings. All right, just hand it to her, and she's like, there you go, done. Anyways, all right, so I'll bring you around on the next project. Don't know what it is. If you guys got any input, what you want it to be, what you'd like to see, that red and white truck, that's going to be a big project. It's going to be, and I don't want to bore everybody with that project, like keep going with it, part 1, 2, 3, and all that. So I'm going to probably do a little bit here, take a break from it, do something else, then go back to it, bring up another video, something like that. So that's the first option. The second option is the F750 that I just bought. I need to get the box off that, I need lift gate off of it, and I need to start moving around tires and changing tanks. It's got one, I don't even remember how many gallon tank it is on the passenger side. We're going to remove that. We're going to put on 2 aluminum tanks, one on each side, and there's a battery box on the driver's side under the driver's seat, that area, and I got to move that back to put the tanks in. There's a lot of work to do, but that's not going to be a fast project either, because it's going to take me a long time to get ready to either build the box for it, or I'm sorry, build the replacement Freightliner bed, or swap it over. But that's going to be a long one too, so I'll have to kind of squeeze that in here and there. Now, the F550 crew cab that we repaired, me and Brandon repaired the frame on, I need 2 wiring harnesses for that thing, and I'm really having troubles with this for cost. But anyhow, that's the hold up on it. I don't know where I'm going with that, so I'm just kind of hanging out and trying to decide. The Lincoln is running fantastic. Runs good, drives good, does everything it's supposed to do. I've got about 150 miles on it so far, and I'm going to try and put about 400 or 500 miles on that truck, that Lincoln, before we get it sold, before I put it up for sale. I don't want to give it to anybody thinking there may be a problem. So that's where we're at with that, and we are considering doing a live stream. I don't know. I've been thinking about this, and I see a lot of guys that do live streams, but it's like spur of the moment live stream. If we're going to do a live stream, if we start doing that stuff, and really what I'm going to do in the live stream be questions and answers. You know, we'll do that. But if we do a live stream, I'm thinking it'll be at a certain time. We'll set it up ahead of time so everybody knows we're going to do it, because obviously we want the most participation we can get. So if you got any comments or thoughts on the live stream, let me know. And with that, I'm going to get off here. I don't want to make this too long. Some guys don't like long videos. A couple of our good viewers out there, and you know, we have an awful lot of them, but there are a select few who like the longer videos. Our good buddy Doug at Lakeside Ranch, he likes a little longer video. Monte Carlo likes a little video, and hey, Heath is back. He was off busy with some other stuff, but hey, he's back. He's getting caught up, and nice to see you again, Heath. Nice to see you in the comments. And Clay's always out there giving us comments, and I got to tell you, Tim's there. And if I forgot somebody, I do apologize. There's so many good people that comment every single video and give us all these thumbs up, and that really makes it for us, because you know, when we don't get feedback, you question if people are enjoying it, if it's something we need to continue, or things that, you know, that's how we gauge is what I'm doing. Like I can see some things based on views, but I can't read people's minds, and it's pretty tough to figure out what we need to do to make things better. And you know how it is. We want everybody to enjoy the experience. You know, we want it to be as enjoyable for you to watch as it is for us to make. So, and Mrs. S is coming around. She's not nearly as camera shy as she once was, and she'll actually talk to me a little bit while I'm on the camera. I'm trying to push her a little more, because you know, she's still kind of shy. But anyways, all you guys leaving comments all the time, man, I appreciate it. So we got a lot of great subscribers out there, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. And I do, like I said, I appreciate the comments. It helps me out, helps me know that, you know, we got people who enjoy what we're doing. So that being said, I'm going to leave you with my normal stuff. You know, if you like what we're doing, give us these thumbs up. We appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, leave your comments down below, guys, and we will catch you on the next project.